All right, good evening, ladybirds, gentle pheasants, and non-binary canaries. This is another edition of Super Metroid: A Link to the Past randomizer combo action. We got a 2v2 match between Aussie and Solsky on Team Crockpot and Farfaloo and MM2 NES cartridge on Will Cut Grass for rupees. This is a pretty exciting match. I'm Jagger G, and with me commentating is Ace Zero. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, Jagger. Definitely excited for this match. Happy to be here. Should be a really good one. Two of the top teams here, the number 1 seed and I think the 3 seed or 4 seed for Will Cut Grass for rupees. Either way, it's going to be a really, really hot match. I'm looking forward to seeing what these teams can do.
Yeah, this has been a pretty packed tournament. It's got a lot of high quality players here.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup too, because we've got Asi and Solsky are two of the like I said, two of the top players. They've done very well in these tournaments in the past and just dominated other SMZ3 events. But M2 NES cartridge, fantastic Super Metroid speedrunner. Really gotten into Link to the Past a lot more lately and just improved really, really fast. It's impressive how much better he's gotten at the game so quickly. Farfaloo's been doing a lot of weeklies and just pick up races and stuff, but I haven't seen him compete in tournaments. I'm kind of excited to see how these guys end up doing.
So far, so good. I believe they're both in the winners bracket after what, 3 rounds or so. And we got looks like both MM2 and Farfaloo are going into A Link to the Past early on, whereas Aussie is going down to the Morph Ball pedestal in Super Metroid.
Yeah, you typically see one player go to the Blue Brinstar area early on in these races, but not always. There are so many more checks in Link to the Past, and it's a pretty long way down, and then you have to reset or climb back up.
Yeah, I like the play to skip it. It's two pretty out of the way checks to areas you're going to come back to later on. It's just that if there is something important here, like those bombs are nice, but I don't think he's gonna keep these.
It looks like he's gonna try to keep him with this gas tank pickup.
That was a valiant effort. There is a way to wall jump up there from the right wall, but it's insanely difficult. But
It is.
yeah, he's just resetting.
Since it's an RBO strat, and Aussie's like literally one of the top, I think, 3rd in RBO records in the world. He's one of the few people that's capable of that. But not worth the effort for just bombs. Meanwhile, we get possibly an early Eastern play from MM2, getting bombs over here at the Hylia shop. Jesse's going to Eastern. Looks like our trackers picked up on the map check. We saw 3 crystals in the light world. Desert and Hera both being red crystals.
Wow. Okay.
You might not dip into Eastern, but if you're going over here this early, I almost think he's going to go do Eastern. Which I kind of like.
Maybe. I'm not so sure. Because it is a crystal, you might not want to double dip it. I would be more inclined to dip it if it were a pendant. But knowing you're gonna have to come back here later with the bow, it's a little bit less appealing than usual.
Yeah. I agree. It does seem like with as many checks as they have left, like if he's not planning on going into Eastern, it puts him in an awkward spot. If you run dry on these like Sphere 1 checks and you don't have anything good yet. But he is saving quitting out of Sahasrahla.
Yeah, I definitely like the play to actually check that closet early on. That's a pretty high likelihood of having major progression. So they get their sword and they're able to go to the castle. Unfortunately, I believe they had gone to the uncle earlier before. So, or maybe I was looking at Solsky. I think that was Solsky. So if this is their first visit in this area, so they're able to combine Uncle and Escape pretty nicely. This is a pretty solid early game advantage for them.
Yeah, with all those bombs and the sword pickup from M2, that's a really nice find. You can do all the front of Escape here with no trouble whatsoever. it's kind of nice to see 4 very different routes right now. Everybody's in different places. It's kind of hard to follow, but gets these early checks done for our information really quickly.
Also, I noticed a really minor advantage. I think Solsky just got the boomerang out of the mini Moldorm cave, and that will allow them to stun enemies and give them special prizes. Stun prizes are a random particular refill of some kind, and it could be $20, it could be bombs, or it could be complete garbage. But if that's important, that could possibly save them quite a bit of time, as we see Farfaloo is actually farming in the broom closet here in Kakariko, in the southwest corner.
Yeah, stun prizes can be really useful. At this point, the runners they all have a decent amount of bombs and rupees, especially MM2 has that 600 rupees. I believe he did Houlihan, so he's in really good shape. Nice tree pull as well, getting reds. But not a lot of like progression items yet.
Oh, so they both have boomerangs. Okay.
Yeah, different boomerangs, but both boomerangs. And Solsky taking that sword out of Sahasrar's closet, and still with Asi not having found anything good. He hasn't really found anything else good. He is going to go into Eastern, which I like. That's kind of why I like doing this potentially later, or just committing hard early. But as you said, almost guarantees the return trip. Nice flute in the back of the front of the well. Excuse me. That's a nice find. Convenient they get to activate it right here in Kakariko before leaving. Oh, and the morph. I missed that on Farfaloo's side.
I was too busy talking about boomerangs, apparently.
Yeah, I missed it as well on the first grab. We did see a power bomb pack and some supers and missiles, an E-tank. So there's at least a good amount to get started in SM. No like movement items yet, but I imagine we'll see somebody dip there fairly soon.
It's nice to have money in these early chests as well. There's a pretty high chance of just getting enough money from chests early on to be able to buy whatever's on the bottle vendor, which is just super missiles today, but they'll probably both be getting that, yeah.
That's probably worth it this early on. I don't know how many super packs we've seen. It's hard to keep track, but I know we've seen at least one. The first couple are really valuable until you get to a solid amount, or charging good beams for Ridley. They're really welcome.
Yeah, in solo it kind of doesn't really matter much, but in co-op, when you're not getting every chest that your partner is getting, you tend to be pretty short on ammo, and I have learned to demand information on every super missile that my partner comes across.
And we did see the Bombos medallion in front of Escape, by the way. Just going to mention that could be required. M2 has that picked up. He's got that knowledge for his team. It's really nice for a co-op setting that may be a required item. Farfaloo maybe can skip it, but he knows where it is if that ends up being important, which is really nice for them.
This is a really rupee-rich seed. I see MM2 already has 500, nearly 600 rupees, and has already bought the supers from bottle vendor, so they're not going to be having money troubles today. And they don't quite have a glove or flippers to put Zora in logic, but once they get Moon Pearl or flippers or boots, then they can easily just clear out that entire area and be done with it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's nice to have the money early, but probably not too prominent on his mind at this point. We're running low on checks. There's a couple things on Death Mountain we can get to with the flute. We'll see those pretty soon, I think, after the runners kind of cross over. since there is some good stuff in Kakariko and some good stuff over to the east, the runners are kind of just flipping places. And then we'll probably see somebody go up Death Mountain, and probably some SM stuff early on.
Yeah, with Morphball early, you have pretty much half of Super Metroid open as long as you have power bombs.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see where the runners choose to start when they get to SM, since it's likely that we're running low on progression for Link to the Past at this point. Like, if we see a wreck ship first play from somebody, that's something that it is in logic. I guess we have the grapple beam, but even without that, it'd be in logic with the CWJ. There could be something good in there.
So I noticed earlier that MM2 just kind of ignored the power bombs in the back of the well, and Solsky actually made sure to pick those up. I wonder... They do have 5 power bombs. That's technically enough, but hopefully they won't have to refill too much. Looks like MM2 is going to be the first into Super Metroid here, so they'll be a little bit limited on what they can check.
Yeah, those 5 power bombs kind of hurt. That kind of pushes me to think that wreck ship first play might be a good idea. You don't need very many for that. Doing Brinstar with 5 power bombs is very tedious. I missed where the ice beam came from, but we see MM2 has that. Doesn't do a whole lot right now. Potentially could be needed for some Sueless Meridia action.
Oh, at
Not
Agana.
there yet.
Okay.
Oh, he got that again right before the reset. Okay, thank you.
That's a pretty out of the way check, and that could potentially come into play later. It will definitely make it easier for them to get up the to get up the red tower if they want to route that way.
Yeah, if he doesn't opt to turn it off on the nearest elevator before that comes up. Speaking of getting up places, though, Aussie grabbed that space jump up on Death Mountain, and Farflu's about to do the same. I'm just scouting it right now. That'll be really nice. Open up a few more checks. And just helps with movement so much, especially without high jump.
So Solsky is about to find Ice Beam as Aussie has already dove into Super Metroid. With Space Jump, though, it's not going to be a huge problem. Aussie has no need for Ice Beam to climb Red Tower, that's for sure. If anything, it will probably be a hindrance in terms of combat.
Wow, I bet MM2's wishing he had those extra power bombs right now. Sees the Various suit at the back of the gauntlet, but can't get it yet. Needs either bombs or another power bomb pack or screw attack.
Oh,
Any one of those gets them there. It's really good intel, though, especially in co-op if your partner is, like Farflu is, in Upper Norfair, knows that hell runs are... I guess they might be required, but that's extremely unlikely. So probably won't be doing those at the moment. I really like this play from Crockpot. Solsky doing some of the slower checks, a little bit more out of the way stuff, but sticking with Link to the Past, just trying to finish off all the early checks so that they kind of play defensively, know that their opponents don't have anything big that they opted to skip before pivoting into SM.
So MM2 finds the screw attack in the back of Brinstar Reserves, and that's gonna give them access to the back of the gauntlet as soon as they get back up there.
Yeah, that's a really nice find. And they'll have access to those silver arrows too on Croc Escape pretty soon, which is a good safety. Not usable without the bow, not required by any means, but probably gonna route that in if possible at some point.
Yeah, it's funny. Screw attack is very favorable item for casual players for combat and just destroying enemies instantly. But for rando players, it's mainly, like, primarily, it just gets rid of bomb blocks without needing extra power bombs. And that's Power Glove, I believe, behind Alpha Power Bombs.
Yeah, it does have some of that, obviously that same utility to a certain extent in randomizers. I guess most notably though, if you're thinking about logic and progression, it kind of puts some of the suitless lower Norfair as a better potentiality, but with the Varia that's completely eliminated. A nice crate quick
Nice.
kill from Farfaloo.
That's a pretty tricky one. You gotta hit that missile just right. You gotta time it just right to hit, just to boop crate in the snoot. You have to hit it basically on the right animation frame to just kind of lock his jaw open. And then it just gives you plenty of time to pump in 3 more supers.
Polsky taking the death orb, gonna check Dark Cross. Again, being very thorough. We didn't get the small key. I didn't see if the map was found or not.
They did find the map in the boomerang chest.
All right. In that case, I think this is a smart play. The map in hand, you know you're gonna get either an item or the small key to grab 3 more items. Either way is a nice find.
Although I'm not so sure because Aussie did find the power glove, so Solsky would potentially be able to do this from the back as they couple that with the Dark Cross. So if they get a small key in the back, then they have easier access, I believe.
That's true. That's a really good point. Or if the small key's in Dark Cross, you just don't ever have to check it.
It's power bombs, which is nice for Super Metroid, so I wouldn't complain about that, to be honest.
Yeah, at this point, we've only seen like a couple packs. M2's the only one with 2 super packs, or sorry, 2 power bomb packs. I want to say he's doing a good job like managing those power bombs. I noticed he laid one kind of over by the super door at the bottom of Big Pink, which is really smart because it opens up access to the charge beam and then also breaks the power bomb blocks by the ore spawn door as well.
Also, a pretty successful green gate glitch by MM2, being able to just turn inside that door frame and turn around as you jump out of it. Just gets you exactly the right pixel needed to shoot that gate open. Another medallion at X-Ray. We got one down in Zelda Cell. I believe that was Bombos. We got Quake here at X-Ray. We just need to know which ones, if any, are required. We do have 3 pendants in the Dark World, so...
Runners are probably hoping at least one of them is required with the cane already in hand. M2 picks that up in Green Hill Zone.
And charge beam behind the morph ball pedestal. That's a nice find. So they're not necessarily going to have to worry about supers anymore. But yeah, they had so much money in A Link to the Past that just wasting $100 on supers is definitely well worth it. And Space Jump here in Spectacle Rock for Solsky. Aussie picked that up earlier. I see. Oh yeah, they had flu. Of course they went up there.
Farfaloo picking up the cane as well.
Ooh, and boots at Billy Mays.
Yeah, Farfaloo's probably going to follow through to Blue Brinstar, grab the charge, and grab the boots. I wasn't sure if he was going this way or through I guess there really wasn't anything in Green Brinstar, was there, except for the screw attack. This is
Yeah,
a little
pretty
awkward
much.
to route in for a co-op, actually.
There might have been another sword. I'm not sure.
Is that where
He
the
does have
sword
Master
was?
Sword right now, but I didn't see where the other one was.
Yeah, I missed that as well.
Mission Impossible. Okay.
Mission Possible is okay.
So Farflu's definitely going to be, almost definitely going to be picking that up after Boots.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward for co-op since you kind of just have to do what your partner's already done in a lot of cases. You can try to wait and maybe get speed booster before visiting these areas, but with like really useful items for both games kind of mixed in, it's really hard to try and put off. You want the sword, you want the screw attack, you want the boots, you want the cane. Like it's you kind of just have to do it all.
At this point, I feel like Farfelu is going to be going up, getting that Various suit, almost certainly, and then routing down to get that sword in Mission Impossible. Well, Mission Impossible. Maybe get the sword first? That's a tough call. I don't know where we would want to go after that. Probably... They came from Norfair, actually, so...
Well,
if I remember
Farfelu
right.
could go grab the sword out of Mission Impossible and then up Red Tower to the wreck ship area. That'd be a pretty reasonable play.
True.
Like, Aussie gonna grab those power bombs just to have the safety of more power bombs from Dark Cross, which is not bad. It's a little bit faster from the back. Sometimes it's tougher because you have to find and kill the key rat here, but if done well, it is faster than from the front.
Yeah, it's not so bad with the sword, especially. With bombs, it's scary.
Yeah, anything with limited resources is a little bit scary for that key rat. Not only can you die, you just also might run out of whatever you're trying to use to kill him.
MM2 getting snatched by that yapping maw. Luckily, super missiles do kill it, so it was able to break free pretty quickly and not take too much damage from the acid. They do have 2 E-tanks to work with. Getting through pretty cleanly as long as they go down the right side, or open up the right side at least. Yeah, they're going down the right side specifically.
At this point, with charge in hand, missiles are a lot less important. A decent amount of supers already, too. It's still probably not a comfy amount for, like, Ridley or Mother Brain with their beam combo, but, you know, it's technically enough.
And I like the turnarounds that he did to just fall a little bit faster through those crumble blocks. Because when you're in the turning animation, you can't land. So although you can break the power bomb, the crumble blocks, you'll just continue falling instead of, like, you'll retain your falling speed. So you just very quickly shoot down.
And I like this early sit kid check with the bottle, as we see Solsky pick up the bottle from Hetacoons. Just missiles there, though, so not required. There's a chance that Farflu picks that up anyway, just for safety. I forget who we saw pick up the blue mail, but I know that's available. Either way, one bottle's sometimes really nice to have, especially if you don't get the mail upgrades or a third sword. It could be really helpful.
Solsky about to be happy to find his Master Sword here in Mission Impossible. And Aussie pretty close behind him in just starting Green Brinstar, which is basically seconds for him.
Yeah, this makes sense. It's not usually ideal to be kind of right on top of your partner here, but the screw attack's just going to speed Aussie's movement up for all these rooms. It doesn't really make sense for him to go like down blue Brinstar and then up green. Just picking that up early, knowing it's required or helpful, and there's another potentially required item with the, I guess, powder and sword.
MM2 is lining up this bomb jump. This is a really interesting one because the bomb doesn't push you far enough to cross the pit on its own. But if you can clip partway into the wall on the right side, you can get pushed on the ground underneath the wall, which allows you to get pushed further than you would across a pit. So you can make it all the way across with one bomb. And it's pretty tight to line up. There are a couple of visual cues players use. Some people line their sword up with the hint tile. I try to find a visual cue with the shadow along one of the little specks in the floor.
Yeah, it's a little bit more helpful of a trick when you're trying to get to Tower of Hera, but still a little bit faster than the save and quit to get to the business center warp.
Sure, if you could do it reliably, for sure.
And we got a lot open in Norfair. We don't yet have access to lower Norfair without the second glove or the high jump boots or gravity suit to get through the lava dive. But there's still a lot of checks here. Imagine we'll see Farflu do Wreck Ship while MM2 does the upper Norfair checks at this point. And Solsky and Aussie have been a little bit more thorough with their Link to the Past checks at this point. Some of the more out-of-the-way stuff like Hobo and Pack of Escape, Dark Cross. But probably we'll split up the same areas in a very similar fashion in just a moment. I'm a little bit surprised that MM2 is going back for this E-Tank with a reserve and 2 E-Tanks. Obviously, that's not a very comfortable amount. But you kind of expect to find more to the point where it's a bit of a backtrack to grab one.
Yeah, especially with the various suits. It is only 2 energy tanks, though. They might be considering lava dive at some point. If they find high jump, then they would feel pretty compelled to do so, and they would want plenty of health going through there, and they would like plenty of health afterwards just to deal with lower Norfair.
Yeah, I imagine that MM2 is capable of the high jump bootless lava dive too, but I doubt that's something that he's considering at this point.
Yeah, that's a tough one that can definitely make or break a seed. If you don't necessarily have to do it, but you have to do some pretty gross, like, suitless Meridia stuff, then yeah, for some players, they might be better off just doing the high jumpless lava dive.
Yeah, and Aussie was actually practicing that before the stream or before the race started, so he's certainly capable of it. Like you said, it's probably a good case of skipping something really bad like Suitless Meridia, or even like maybe a double dip of a dungeon if there's one logically required and your partner's already scouted ahead and you know you can find something through that. But we've still got a lot of stuff in logic available here.
Yeah, honestly, lower Norfair like doesn't require too much inside of it. It's mainly just getting in it logically that that you need to think about, and if you can just ignore logic, then it's great. We got another glove at Speed Booster. That's 2 gloves we know about. Farfaloo, I
don't believe.
I guess hasn't gone up Red Tower. They must have looped around Green Brinstar to get all those treasures.
Yeah, he got to that junction at Red Tower over just above X-Ray, and MM2 must have informed him about the Cane of Samaria and boots and such. So he went up Blue Bryn instead. But there goes our lava dives, because that's Mitts and Flute are available. So we'll be getting to LN the fast way, not the fun way.
Yeah, true. That is really nice for them. And on top of that, with like once they know that they have access to the mitts, they're probably going to want eyes on Turtle Rock and Mire as soon as possible. Because and Hammer in the Wave Beam area. So that's a lot they can do now in A Link to the Past. But also they got both medallions in pretty gross locations: Bombos in Zelda Cell and Quake in X-Ray in Super Metroid. So they're probably going to want to know, do I actually need to go all the way there or not?
Yeah, the lack of fire source makes Mire not great. The only tricky thing is if they can go in. I guess there's no Moon Pearl yet, so we can't really get at any Dark World dungeons until we find that.
True.
I'm guessing going to the Mire area will be a lot easier to scout. Using that flute, Lower Norfair's kind of a breeze with Space Jump and Screw Attack. And everyone's got at least 20 supers, so Ridley's not going to be too bad. No fire source for Mire, though. And of course, a lot of things missing for Turtle Rock, if that's required, if the runners can't even get in.
Solsky farming up money. It looks like they're 98 rupees shy of Zora money. They could just go into the... No, they already got back out of Sriracha's closet. I'm not sure where they missed them.
I believe this is where MM2 got all of his rupees. He got the most out of everybody. He had about 600 because he got...
that makes sense.
He did the land play really early on. Yeah, a little surprising to be farming rupees this late in, but it's really not any different mechanically from doing it right at the beginning of the seed. And it does, with the boots, allow Solsky to set up the water walk here, so he can do the waterfall cave and at least check the waterfall ledge at the same time.
I didn't notice if they checked the stun prize, but yeah, they're just farming up and going for it. That's smart. I would have preferred to just go straight to the man under the bridge, probably fake flipper there, and then water walk out, and just get that one more check just in case it's rupees.
I believe Solsky already checked the hobo earlier before first going to SM. I think that's why he was the last one in. He did that before.
Okay, fair enough.
Dark Cross, I'm pretty sure.
So getting a green potion for good measure. In Super Metroid Link to the Past combo rando, it is a guaranteed green potion as it is in vanilla. In standalone randomizer, it's usually shuffled between like any bottle contents, including null. So we got a book on Zora Ledge. That's interesting. They can't logically get it. I don't think they have a reliable way to get it. Cane of Samaria and other things can do some shenanigans to let them fake flipper, but not gonna go for it. Maybe if they had both.
With this item set. But MM2 picked up the hook shot here behind Crocomire. That's a really big find. Potentially skippable for Crockpot. Solsky is pretty good at hovering. Aussie is very infamous for the Moldorm bounce strategy. So if we don't have anything behind the hook shot in Swamp Palace, that's likely to be skippable from these guys. But
Yeah, that would be wild to see.
doesn't look like anything so far in Wreck Ship, though. This has been a complete bust up to this point from Farflu, unless I've missed something. Pretty unfortunate, but there are still a couple checks left. And, you know, there's the boss here, so at least some of it was required. I would expect MM2 to come out of Croc here, go to East Death Mountain, and then to the Tower of Hera. We'll see if Aussie opts to do Crocomire and then the same play, because that would make a lot of sense. Which I guess would make the hookshot potentially required for that as well.
I personally don't like getting this ocean item that Solski's going for before doing Wreck Ship, just on the off chance that maybe there's a gravity suit in here or something. But they're probably not going to be burned by it.
Yeah,
just one more check for Farf.
I think sometimes it can be nice if it's a movement item that helps you in Wreck Ship, but at this point there's not a whole lot that's going to help make Solski's Wreck Ship faster. It can't, I mean, he's already got Space Jump and Screw Attack, so Addict's easy. He can get up to that Sky Missiles very easily as well, past the Sponge Bath.
That's true. I guess it is more likely that it would help in that the ocean item would help in Wreck Ship than to actually find gravity specifically in Wreck Ship. So that makes sense.
Alright, so Farflu's gonna grab his glove, and that'll give We'll Cut Grass for Rupees their official Dark World, or no, that's not Dark World access. Access to Lower Norfair, and possibly, once they cross over their paths, we'll be getting to that. While Aussie already has his mitts. He's getting the... Oh, that's really convenient. He can get the Ice Beam for Magina here, and then just walk out of the cave and flute back to 6 again to go to Meyer area. We'll likely see Farflu do the same thing, since he also has not picked up his Ice Beam, but will eventually want to take this portal. Or save and go to Sanctuary instead. Oh, the bonk checks haven't been done by Crockpot.
Ooh, flippers. That's really nice.
Yeah, we didn't have the mitts on MM2's side when he checked the bonk rocks, so he couldn't check King's Tomb along with it. So that puts that book in logic too. We don't have the fire source yet to actually finish Desert, so I would not really expect honestly to go right away to grab that book and hop into Desert. That's definitely something that he's got on his mind and knows is a possibility for later.
Oh, so Aussie is about to lure this murder dactyl over into the... Oh, no. Never mind. Trying to lure it over to the entrance of the Mire Shed. They do have blue mail, so the murder dactyl only does 2 hearts of damage by the looks of it. And getting eyes on the Bombos requirement for Mire. We're about to get a map check. Well, Aussie is. Okay, we are too. All right, so pendants. We do have crystals on both TR and Mire. Pendants in Swamp and Ice Palace, and the green pendant in Thieves Town we apparently already knew about.
Oh, I suppose somebody may have talked to Sahasrara and we just missed it. Asked him about that green pendant early on. That's interesting. So those flippers might not be hard required, but I would expect all 4 players to pick them up at some point. They're not out of the way hardly at all.
Round
really
2
going
for Aussie. Oh no.
Kind of surprised.
You kind of got to lure it vertically.
For this is a tricky setup here, and there's so much available with all of Lower Norfair. Solstice still got most of Rex ship, but for their team is not
Yeah,
known.
but they want to check Lower Norfolk. That's kind of reasonable. Kind of awkward to wind up double dipping it. He did kind of soft lock there, accidentally walking into water as a bunny. You kind of get stuck in a weird state. I think he could have wiggled out. I'm not entirely sure, but
okay, I missed that on my stream. Thank you. It cut out, and I didn't know what had happened that caused him to be setting up for that bunny, the super bunny state. The second time. Is that inverse vanilla GT here? Super's on the left,
like it.
on the right.
Probably gonna have to be farming up for Ridley. This shouldn't take too long with only needing 30 supers.
Yeah, you can opt to farm here or press onward with the grapple beam. It's not too bad to farm in the room before Ridley. This is a little bit faster if you know you're going to need a bunch. Might opt not to go to full, but probably just go to full.
Probably not, yeah.
Or close to
Probably
it.
going to 26. I believe there's 6 per power bomb here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Good call.
They might reload the room one more time just to screw attack the rest of them. No, they're just screw attacking it now. That makes sense.
All right, so far, no items in Tower of Hera. M2 NES cartridge setting up the Hera pot clip with the spin speed, or hook speed rather. Nicely done.
Yeah, I love the spin speed setting.
So it's just a little bit faster. It's not logically required to get up here since that big key was the first item. Oh, and there's the fire source to get to the basement to use that small key you just found. Perfect. That's not exactly what you want. But I mean, it's very nice.
I'd be like, well, okay, it's a fire source, but it is one of the items. Maybe the last one it's on Moldon. I didn't see if there was an item down below.
It was a map in the lobby chest, so there is an item left on either Moldorm or basement.
Fingers crossed. I don't know what they should be crossed for. Maybe MM2 wants a bathroom break or something. Just a compass.
So takes the news of nothing in Rex ship.
Aussie picks something up in Powerbomb. It's a shame.
You know, we can make guesses about what it was. My guess is ammo or health. I don't know.
Probably a heart piece or a heart container or something. So not so much in the first half of Lower Norfair, but we still got behind Ridley, we've got Fire Flea Room, we've got Jail, we got Hudder B missiles, we got Franker Z missiles. Still a lot to go here. And missiles for a tile room.
Not really worth the time it takes to get, but you know, it's something. $30 super missile fight should be no trouble whatsoever for Aussie.
Oh. I'm told apparently we got to see one frame of Gravity Suit at Screw Attack.
Oh. I must have blinked at that frame. Well, that's...
Yeah, you can tell because on Aussie's side, like he's using Dark Samus Sprite, so it goes from Black Sprite to a different shade of black.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. You know, I even thought of that, like...
I think it has a different color trim too, but...
Like, I tried to look at his sprite to see, like, did that change color? What could he have picked up? Was it a beam? No, it's apparently gravity. Well, that's a big find then for Lower Norfair. Opens up all of Meridia with Ice Beam and Grapple, Screw Attack. Literally every check in Meridia is available right now.
Yeah, I think it has like different accent colors, but I'm not familiar with the sprite very well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's like all the gold shines a little bit brighter on that one, if I remember right, but I didn't think of that first off. I can tell Farfalu has the gravity suit. Much more noticeable.
Yeah. So you notice Farfalu is draining, just burning all his missiles there. That's to manipulate Gold Terizo's patterns. Apparently, if you're below 32, I want to say, missiles, then it just won't shoot the croissants. And it just always shoots eggs that you can use to refill. And they just picked up refills up to 33 and it started shooting croissants again.
If you time it right with the damage you do, this is kind of a nice alternative to the super farm that Aussie did up on the Rippers.
Yeah, true.
It kind of looks like what Farfalu's doing. He went all the way up to about 25. So you won't have
it's more random though. Yeah.
For sure. Solsky just cleaning up his hitting up crate, it looks like. I don't believe we saw anything here, but it's required. Might just be doing it, giving Aussie some time to scout ahead. What's here in Lower Norfair? What does he need to pick up? That's something that kind of doesn't get talked about enough, I think, in these co-op matches, is knowing where you and your partner are relative to each other as far as progression goes. You don't want one player to get way ahead and have, 6 crystal dungeons while the other player has 2. Otherwise, they're just going to be catching up at the end, and it'll make for a slower last finish time. And we all know Solsky won't be happy if he finishes behind Aussie. And we still looking for that moon pearl. Kind of long into the seed to not have one. Starting to run dry on places where it can be.
Yeah. We got to see most of the light world, but yeah, definitely not much they can do here. Not much in the dark world left.
Oh, that's an interesting fake flipper
Yeah.
setup by MM2. I like that. I think it's going to get him a whole bunch of nothing here, but it's a check that his team has not done yet.
Maybe maybe it is viable. Well, I don't know. I've had trouble um, doing the Zora ledge splash deletion with the Samaria block, but maybe I just did it wrong.
Yeah, if I don't have a bow or a red boomerang, I don't have the ability to do that with any other equipment.
So now that MM2 was successfully able to show off that that Kane version of the splash deletion to be able to fake flipper, they're going to King's Tomb and getting their flippers proper.
Yeah, literally the next check. It's a little bit of a slap in the face from the seed to do that, but at least he gets to do Zora nice and easy. And this will be nice for team We'll Cut Grass for Rupees, because or potentially MM2 is going to get his book when he goes to Zora the first time, and if that unlocks something, he's got the Fire Rod too, so he can just full clear desert, which is really nice. And once Dark World's available, have that Pyramid Fairy on the table. Ooh. Lamp is speed locked in Meridia. All right, we might not see that getting picked up.
Yeah.
Especially for anyone who gets the Fire Rod first.
Well, we do have Meyer as a crystal. It is nice to have Lamp for Meyer, especially. The other ones, I think the players are going to be comfortable enough to do any of those dark rooms. But I can see someone wanting Lamp for Meyer if they have short access to Speed Booster.
Yeah, Meyer and Odd can be a little bit rough in the Dark Maze as well. I mean, if Speed Booster's available, they're going to pick it up, I think, just for convenience. Meyer's probably the one that's the toughest to learn, but once you learn it, it's pretty consistent. Unlike the Dark Maze and Pod, where there's a little bit of randomness with the enemy movements and the fire shots.
Got a fetch quest behind the puppy in Solski's end.
Oh, which one was that? Was that the mushroom or the shovel? I missed that.
That's a shovel.
On two side. I see. There's not a lot of excitement in Meridia, though. Just the lamp for the major items. The mail upgrade is really nice, too. It's a good convenience, but, you know, not really what you need. Blue mail's plenty good for most situations. Good enough that you don't often have to think about your health.
So I guess it's not too surprising no one's bothered checking the medallion requirement for Turtle Rock, although they don't have the Moon Pearl. They would kind of be orphaning Hookshot Cave. They could do Super Bunny Cave, as its namesake implies. You can pretty freely get Super Bunny just by traversing through the cave from the bottom.
Yeah, it kind of hasn't really made sense for anybody to go up there. When MM2 was on East Death Mountain, he didn't have the mitts, and with the placement of that gravity suit, it makes a lot more sense for Asi to have gone here to to Meridia. I can see Solsky going up there potentially instead of going down to Crocomire.
You know what? Never mind. They don't have hookshot or the mirror to go from the bottom or from the top of Death Mountain. So I guess they can't go that way.
Yeah, and Solsky did just pick up the hookshot too. That's right. Aussie doesn't have Aussie and Farflu. Well, Farflu has hookshot. Aussie doesn't have it yet. Does Farflu have hookshot? I didn't think he did Croc yet. I guess we'll find out where he's going at this point. Whether he's going to Croc or just going up through the Croc escape area to grab his silvers. Oh, he did do Croc. Doors open. Okay. I totally missed that somehow.
You know what? I even saw someone on East Death Mountain earlier. So
yeah.
Okay.
And then two did East Death Mountain, but didn't have the mitts, so he couldn't have done it. So you're...
So I'm not entirely... I don't know.
Yeah, you're not crazy, just there's a lot going on. I've certainly missed my share of stuff already.
So I'd like to see Solsky Super Bunny right after Spiral Cave. They'll be right outside the... they'll be right next to the lower portal to Super Bunny Cave. But...
yeah, I think that makes sense for Solsky at this point, because he can do Tower of Hera after Paradox, and then go down Spiral Cave and into Super Bunny. Finish his Death Mountain trip.
Mm-hmm. So while the this tournament logic is with hard Super Metroid logic, so they will potentially be required to do some tricky tricks in Super Metroid. That doesn't apply to A Link to the Past. It's just regular no glitches logic for A Link to the Past. So the Super Bunny, while pretty much free, is not in logic, so they won't have Moon Pearl there. It could be a nice sequence break, though, if it is important. Right, I even saw him doing Moldorm too. Unfortunately, no book to check the ether tablet while knowing where it is.
Yeah, I think at this point you'd potentially try to save the ether tablet check for when you have the Moon Pearl, and you can maybe pair it with Spike Cave. At least if Mirror is in somewhere that's available, that's not so bad to do. By the way, I really appreciate Solsky trapping both the Stalfos and the little cage where the big key was in Tower of Hera.
I don't appreciate is doing the bomb setup when he has the boots. You can pretty much wing the hook speed method.
Well, Solsky is a special guy. He likes to do things his own way.
Fair enough. I mean, if you get it first try, okay.
There is legitimately, though, some benefit to that. Every player, like even the top players in this game, like these guys have knowledge gaps somewhere, and in some cases, like just depending on how you want to spend your time, you have to make decisions on what to practice. And the bootless setup you can do every single time. Sometimes it's nice just to learn one setup, and that's your setup. Doesn't matter what equipment you have; it's always going to work. So I know I have some strats like that. Maybe there's a better option with a certain set of gear, but just do it the one way I know how to do it, and that's just fine.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, that's pretty minor. A pretty minor difference. That is the red crystal from Desert and the red crystal from Hera At least on MM2's side, Solski could go to desert now if they want. That's interesting, though.
Yeah, I mean, with that, it probably it's kind of an awkward position for Solski. He's probably just hoping that Aussie finds something big in Meridia, or that he finds something big here. The last 2 Death Mountain checks before that comes up. Because getting that book and then going to desert and then, say, stumbling on mirror shortly after finding nothing in desert kind of feels bad. It's a decent time loss that you can avoid. It does look like Solski's setting up for the Death Warp, which, taking some damage here from these tiles, might indicate he is going to Death Warp out and check Spiral Cave and Super Bunny. Oh, we missed the Moon Pearl on Shack Tool, apparently. Some of the stream buffering that's going on here. So that's a really big find. It's a very troll item. I think MM2 NASCAR will appreciate that. We'll hopefully be checking Shack Tool before he leaves Meridia.
We got Bombos required. Double Bombos requirement, so that X-Ray Quake just not... unfortunately not required. Although, I guess fortunate for MM2 and for Solski. Oh, not so much for Solski. He already got Quake. But he will have the option to use it to dispatch of the dead rocks if he so chooses.
Yeah, I mean, grabbing Quake, that was still... He doesn't have anything else left to check in all of Brinstar, so it kind of made sense for him to grab it on his way by X-Ray.
Could also kill dead rocks with the powder, but you could do so more angrily with Quake.
Farflu deciding now is as good a time as any to grab that Combos medallion. M2 Nescarters is having a little bit of trouble with these snails. In position for the snail clip to get these 2 aqueduct items, which is in logic, without the speed booster for this hard logic. Snail's just a little bit too high there. Fortunately, you get 2 attempts with each snail before you have to either reset the room or knock them off the ceiling and do something else and try it again.
You could also apparently do it off the wall to the right instead of in that speed booster section. That's basically the same collision, or the same coordinates for the collision. Y coordinate, at least.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Aussie did that. I know I've seen him do it before. I don't recall if he did that in this race or not. But it's really the same. Just your jump up onto the snail is a little bit more difficult because you can't just jump straight up and morph. You kind of have to loop around a bit.
Yeah, without high jump, yeah. You could do it with... I forget. That room's not... Yeah, that room's not underwater, right?
It is.
Is it?
The aqueduct?
Okay, well,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. So you could gravity jump up there if you really want. Or you could just, like, wall jump up the snail, but that's trickier and you risk moving it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to gravity jump to get around that position, you might be better off just waiting for the snail a tiny bit longer.
yeah, that's true.
But you're right, it's an option. We see a message in chat about MM2 skipping that mushroom. What's likely happening here is he's going to be save scumming these sand pits, or he's going to be very unfortunate for what he's doing here. I kind of don't like doing Shack Tool now. Actually, no, this does make sense. What he's trying to do is save scum these locations so that after he does Dragon, he can figure out which way he wants to leave Meridia. He can go down the left sand pit, grab that mushroom on his way out. It's a little unfortunate he's going to find something here at Shack Tool he has to keep, because he's probably hoping to reset this away and then just go do Dragon, grab the mushroom on the way out. Instead, I'll have to take this item, make a whole loop around the Dragon first. Kind of worked out a lot better for Aussie, having not done the sand pits till after Dragon in this particular case, but it can work out the other way sometimes.
So it's looking like we won't be able to get to see the Moon Pearl from Aussie or MM2, but rest assured they're getting it. They have it.
We can just say that this part of the stream is being censored for violence against our friend Shack Tool.
Yeah,
I don't know
no
if
one cares about the puppy.
Shack Tool killer, but I care.
Oh yeah, they have space jumping too. They could just space jump up to the stand.
There we go. Farflu gets up there. You see Souls going to the desert. When we didn't see anything of importance in desert from MM2, apart from that red crystal.
All right, so with that plasma from Paradox Cave, this is a pretty solid beam to have for the rest of the game. They're going to be able to, I believe, 5-shot Batuon here, and I don't quite have X-ray to make use of that on Dragon, but it's still a pretty powerful beam.
Absolutely. Oh, I really like this play from We'll Cut Grass for Rupees. Our tracker, Ike here, one of our two trackers, Ike here, and Hydropower 78 helping us out here. Shouts to them. Pointing out that with the Moon Pearl and Flippers now, M2 Nest Cartridge doesn't have to make that loop around Meridia. Especially with the timing with Farflu already in here. This works out fantastic for their team. Farflu can scout the back, and M2 can maybe just jump in from Link to the Past from the Dark World, grab the boss, kill, and leave. Works out really well.
So
probably see
I take it.
Woods. Sorry, go ahead.
I take it they didn't bother going back for the mushroom. That kind of makes sense. As they have Moon Pearl, they have so much more to check now.
Yeah, absolutely. If Farflu can grab the mushroom and check it, and then if necessary, M2 can route that in at some point as well. But there's crystal dungeons available here. We've got Skull Woods fully clearable, and 2 pendant dungeons and Thieves and Ice fully clearable. Not really what you want, but Skull Woods is clearly a good candidate to start your Dark World traversal.
All right, so Aussie up here with the book is going to be able to just ignore the Ether Tablet and go into Hera. Maybe he'll get it on the way out, though.
Yeah, gonna get the Fire Rod and Crystal first, I suppose.
Oh, he doesn't have the book.
Oh, he doesn't have the book either. That's right. Because Solsky picked up the book to go to Desert.
Oh.
Yeah, that does put that in a really awkward spot for them, because I imagine that Aussie is going to do Spike Cave after Tower of Hera here. They'll have everything required for it, including the half magic with Cape, and I don't know if he had the Cane of Burna. If he picked that up, Cane of Burna was at Edakun's area. I don't think there was anything else needed in that location. But as he's got the Cape, I know for sure. From Bubble Mountain.
I think there was a bottle there, but that's about it. Just a couple of safeties.
Yeah, I don't recall if Aussie picked it up, but he can do Spike Cave regardless, and probably will right after this dungeon. Well, you know, Misery Mire is another completable crystal dungeon. I totally overlooked that. That's also likely to be tackled soon here. I'd be willing to bet. I don't know. There's a couple different ways to do this. Not sure how these players are thinking about divvying it up, but we'll cut grass for rupees. As soon as Farflu gets his Moon Pearl, we'll likely be going to either do these big, dense overworld checks, or potentially going into Misery Mire. An M2 Nest cartridge, probably continuing on this Dark World loop. Oh, I see. Not to do Spike Cave, but instead East Dark Death Mountain. That also makes sense. It's more locations for him to finish off on. I guess he can do Spike Cave after this as well. I hadn't even considered that for some reason. This is much smarter than what I was thinking. These pits given MM2 some difficulty.
Yeah, successfully got out of one pit to make sure to drop in the other. You know, you don't want to drop in that other pit, that's for sure.
Makes me a little bit sad to see some of these difficulties in my favorite dungeon.
That's the pit you want to fall in. There you go.
And certainly a lot of runners' preference, but I was gonna say the hammer's a really good weapon on Mothula if you have some health to take a little bit of damage from Moth himself.
Yeah, I like that.
But that was a really good fight, regardless. Really good use of a couple sword spins and fire rod shots to make really quick work of Mothula.
Yeah, that was really nicely done. That was a pretty cooperative Moth as well. I was gonna say you kind of might not want to use spins on Mothula, even with a lower level sword, like a master or fighter sword, just because you do move more slowly when you're holding the sword out. You only move 1 pixel per frame versus the oscillating 1 and 2 pixels of normal walking speed, unless you're walking diagonally. But it also potentially has you kind of bouncing off of the moving spikes as well. So it's pretty risky strat. So it's kind of high risk for decent reward.
Oh, that's a super heads up play from MM to NES cartridge. Remembering that these red rupees are on the tier 2 pole, routes in a pull off of that statue on the way to Hype Cave, so he has enough rupees for everything he needs in Dark World. He didn't have enough for the big bomb. He was only, it was like 80 something like that. It was less than 100, and he needs 100 for the red bomb. High jump boots also super good find in Hype Cave. I'd say that's hype enough to call it a Hype Cave, even though they're mostly done with SM. Oh wait, no, MM2 hasn't done any of the bosses yet. Farflu's done all the bosses. That's potentially risky. I'm not sure that they're in a good place balance-wise. We might see
3 crystals down.
That's true. He does have a 3 crystal lead, so that's really hard to compare.
They're very short crystals, so it's still kind of iffy, but it kind of depends on how they get access. If they find the mirror, those are very, very quick dungeons to access. But without it, they are a pretty long trip out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, at least Desert is.
I do want to say I kind of don't like the decision to wait for that bomb to blow up when you can come up here and check that item kind of for free while waiting anyway. If you get hook speed, it's really fast, and you can actually make it back to the bomb before it goes off, just to prevent standing around for 3 seconds, which isn't a
Yeah,
lot, but it's a race.
yeah. If it weren't for the boots, it would be considerably closer. But
Yeah.
because you could just check it on the way out anyway. And there's
Oh
a
my
mirror in
god.
Meyer Shed. All right.
Wow. Okay, things might be a little different here if we'd seen Asi get that Super Bunny state into Meyer Shed to get the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Or MM2 as well.
Oh, he attempted that as well? I missed that entirely. Because that's going to make some efficiency for this big Dark World loop. All these checks have kind of scattered in a couple mirror checks, make it a little bit easier. Makes the Smith Chain, Graveyard Ledge, K45 all feasible and faster, and/or faster.
Yeah, in a way, you kind of don't want to see the mirror. It's such convenience to route in a lot of checks, but you kind of just don't want checks to be available until you're in go mode when you don't need to check them.
Yeah. Are you telling me you don't like checking Pendant Swamp Palace?
It's probably gonna have Ice Rod.
That's very well a possibility. Ice Rod, bow. Is there anything else we're missing? And logically, we need the lamp, but we don't really need the lamp, which means we need Speed Booster.
It could be, and Speed Booster is probably in Swamp, but I wouldn't call it needed.
Yeah, what's interesting is not having that Speed Booster kind of devalues Pod a little bit. With no bow, even if it's not bow locked, most of the good stuff's going to be lamp locked. So there's not a lot of reason to go in there without the bow at this point in time. Unless they find Speed Booster, and then they might go in without the lamp and without the bow. Solsky showing off this trick that's really difficult to do. I have a lot of difficulty with this one personally. Taking damage lets you start your dash before the bomb realizes you're dashing while it's catching up to you basically. So you can dash with the big bomb, but doesn't have a lot of success with it.
Yeah, I'm noticing MM2 was considering picking up the Smith to do that chain, but is considering going to Thieves Town instead. There's 4 items versus the 1 potential. And they're just gonna put off the Smith for now. I like the play.
Yeah, the Smith chain is always an awkward one because you can. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I wouldn't have minded a play without the mirror. It's really tough. I think with the mirror that makes a difference, and Will Cut Grass Rupees doesn't have that mirror. That might have made the difference there.
Conversely, Solsky had the option to do a pretty lucrative pendant dungeon, but opted for Overworld instead, which is completely understandable and probably easily the best play. But I'm also disappointed. I would have liked to see it.
Yeah, I think just the quantity of Overworld checks that they have. Asi just finished Skullwoods, is hitting Village of Outcast. They still have all of Smith Chain, all the mirror checks on the Overworld. That's a lot of stuff before jumping into Skull Swamp. And they have Misery Mire, which I'm a little surprised nobody's gone into yet. Maybe Farflute goes in there after this Mire Shed check. That'd make a lot of sense. I kind of figured Solsky was going to do that after his Mire Shed check, but opted not to. No, I guess no bow or good weapon necessarily to take care of Vitreous. You're going to lose probably a little bit of health in those dark rooms. Powder, I guess, lets you recover it, but still, it's not a free dungeon at this point.
Now we're getting a ether tablet check for a heart piece, unfortunately.
Definitely worth the trip. So really, that book not useful at all.
All right, Ice Rod in Thieves Town.
And yeah, so Aussie and M2 Nest cartridge picking up the Ice Rod out of the front of Thieves. Little divergence. M2 deciding to continue. No small key. I don't know how many items we got out of the front. This is a pretty long trek for 2 items. Oh, we got the sword in here. And there's the bow and spike cave. Okay. Okay, that ether tablet was worth it after all, because it gave him a reason to do spike cave.
That's a really good find. It's hard to find an excuse to go to Spike Cave. Like, you're usually going up to Hera or something like that when you just want to do all of the other checks instead of Spike Cave, and you wind up orphaning it one way or another. But yeah. Something being in there is pretty hard to it's pretty hard to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's our go mode, I believe. Go mode for Crockpot.
I kind of like this play by Solsky. Refilling his magic by picking up half magic, because Aussie had done these checks first.
I like that too. I don't agree with this backtrack through the woods that kind of takes forever, because I don't think it's faster than just fluting to Kakariko and going from the south side of this portal. Otherwise, it's a great play.
I don't know.
Or even just mirroring and grabbing that on his way to Skull Woods, because you can mirror right in front of that item from the entrance to the back of the dungeon.
True.
But that's something it's really hard to think about those little details like that when you're racing.
And also, like, you kind of want to know where exactly do you mirror, because you never do that here.
Yeah, it's just like right from the mouth of that entrance. It lines up really well.
Nice.
It's something, if you've done it a couple times, it's like, oh, that's as intuitive and easy as it seems like it might be. Sometimes things don't line up quite right on the Dark World versus Light World, but this is one that certainly does. Yeah, so at this point, there's still a little bit of decision-making to be made from Crockpot on how they want to divvy up these dungeons. Some of the dungeons have a little bit more potential for checks, looking for keys. Pod and Meyer in particular. They're going to want to do Turtle Rock last, of course. Meanwhile, we just need to see We'll Cut Grass for Rupees get up to the Spike Cave to get that bow, and that's all they're going to need for their go mode. Definitely looking a little bit behind Crockpot at this point in time. Oh yeah, Thieves is the green pendant. I totally forgot about that. That makes a little bit more value to the back of that dungeon. 2 items and a green pendant turn in for a 3rd item. Makes it a lot more understandable to finish there and not bail at the site of the Ice Rod.
Yeah. Whereas, unfortunately, on Aussie's end, that's going to be, or on Aussie's and Solsky's end, that's going to wind up being their go mode Ice Rod. So this, they're going to be able to skip that entirely.
I like the moment of indecision. Aussie picked up that big key and thought, oh wait, I can go to the back of the dungeon, and then, oh wait, no I can't, I need a small key.
Yeah.
Really not expecting to find that there. You're kind of expecting small keys in all these first checks in Pod. 4 of the first 6 have to be small keys, so you kind of just assume they all are until they're not.
Is opting to beat Helmslor King first. That makes sense. Helmslor King could have an item, and if you find all items before you finish clearing up the rest of the dungeon, it could save a little bit of time.
Well, he's not going to be clearing any more of the dungeon since they're in go mode.
Oh, he did find the ice rod.
Yeah, he got the ice rod pretty much the same time as MM2. They were both in the front of thieves, side by side. But Aussie chose to leave at the ice rod pickup, whereas MM2 continued and beat the dungeon.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, we definitely won't be seeing a lamp from Crockpot. It's very unlikely we'll see the lamp on We'll Cut Grass for Rupees, since we know not really required in this one.
And MM2's already in Mire. Watch Speed Booster be in here. That would be awful.
It'd be awful logically, but good thing you don't have to pay attention to that stuff. Or don't have to follow it. You should very much pay attention to it and understand what it means.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like to do Dark Mire, but I will do it.
You know, I'll take Dark Mire over Dark Pod any day.
Okay. Depends on my loadout, personally.
And you know, this is really good for We'll Cut Grass for Rupees. M2 finds big key at the first chest here in Mire, and it won't be too much longer potentially. Oh wait, no, never mind. Farflu still hasn't done Hera. Okay, so he is gonna full clear Mire. While Farflu does Tower of Hera, gets his Fire Rod, and makes his way through Spike Cave. Probably is gonna do East Dark Death Mountain too. Or did MM2 check Dark Death Mountain yet? I can't recall.
It's Farfluted, if I remember right.
Okay. Then after Hera, he'll be doing Spike Cave in that case to get the Ice Rod next. Either way, M2 is going to be full clearing Mire, whereas Solski has the big key and is just going to go. Yeah, and with Fire Rod and Ice Rod, Farflu might choose to do TR before Spike Cave. That's a good point brought up in chat. Apparently he did Super Bunny and not Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, they didn't have Pearl yet.
Pearl, so it will be a while before that Spike Cave check. I really hope, and I'd be very surprised if it wasn't something that Farflu's going to do before he leaves Death Mountain, but it is going to be at the end of that chain of events. Which just kind of leaves MM2 Nest Cartridge full clearing these dungeons, checking every chest, while Team Crockpot just go modes all of their dungeons.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. MM2 is likely going to pod right after this as well. And full clearing that.
Yeah,
so close.
He left an item behind, or didn't leave an item behind. He might be leaving an item behind in this dungeon. He's missing the map and the second item in Mire. So if the item's on the boss, that's great. Otherwise, he'll be leaving an item behind or potentially going back into the dungeon again from the start to get to that vanilla big key chest, which is just gross. I don't expect him to do that. But we'll see. Okay, Vitrius does have the second item, so that's nice for We'll Cut Grass for Rupees.
That's kind of nice, except unfortunately they don't have the bow. They can manage it, but this may take a bit.
Yeah, he's got Tempest Sword and Cape. Yeah. Or Cane of Burna.
Cape, yeah.
I would use Cape over Cane of Burna in this case. It doesn't use magic while you're slashing the sword, so you can just stand on the eyeballs and just spam slashes or dash left and right through them. Doesn't have the same lag that the Cane of Burna does. Oh, he doesn't even have Cane of Burna. He didn't pick that up.
Oh, okay.
He must have skipped the Atakun's area. Or just jumped over it. Which is probably harder.
Yeah.
And we were talking about go mode for Crockpot. Asi does still have to pick up his Bombos medallion. Obviously he knows where it is, so it's not a decision point, but he is going to pick that up at this point in time to officially have all the items that he needs.
The nice thing about this cape strat, if you're slashing your sword in the middle, you can also get a few hits in when it's doing its lightning attack. It's not opting for it, just going for spin slashes and trying to get the second phase a little bit faster. Eyeballs are not cooperating though.
He's doing a good job dodging though.
Yeah. It's Bombos for Aussie, and they're on their way to likely Meyer.
Farflu getting a little bit beat up by those chain chomps. Gotta be a bit careful. Looks like blue mail. I'm assuming that's blue mail because it's blue, but I'm not familiar with the Luigi sprite.
Yeah, I believe the red mail is pink.
You know, you never know. I've had people confused because I occasionally use the Zero Suit Samus sprite where the green mail is blue, and the blue mail is orange, and the red mail is purple, which is maybe confusing.
Purple with green hair at that.
Surprise Souls, he's farming here. Does he not have Plasma Beam? No, he does.
Okay.
Okay, Charge Plasma Ice. This is not really necessary. You can substitute, I think it's 1 for 1. 1 charge shot for 1 super missile. If not, it's very close to that. I always
Sounds
forget
about right.
these damage values, but just 30 shots altogether here.
Yeah, against Ridley, the super does 600 damage. I believe a full beam combo with Plasma Wave Ice Charge is 900.
Yeah.
The without Wave, I think it is 600, same as supers.
Yeah, Tracy confirming. Thank you. It's 30 shots with this beam combo, so it's the same as a super for each shot.
Though it's not quite as fast.
Not quite, but still usually faster than farming.
I confuse ice plasma with ice wave spazer. I think is that 450 or something?
I believe
750. I want to say.
But you say that
I believe we don't know either.
I confuse ice plasma with wave plasma, and I'm pretty sure they're different, and don't know what the difference is.
Ice is definitely less than wave. I know that much.
Yeah, one of them's 24 and one of them's 30 shots, and I always forget which one's which. So I just admit that I don't know and can never remember. I'm not the math professor on my team.
Charge wave plasma is 24. Okay.
I think it's 45 for all of them that don't include the plasma beam. But I do like this decision, by the way, to take care of Ridley at this point for MM2NES cartridge. It's really advantageous since, with what we know, he's kind of just waiting for Farflu to find that bow, and then there are teams in go mode. So it's fortunate that he's going to get to make some progress here, just on bosses. It'll be his first SM boss, actually. While we know there aren't really any checks that he could do that are of value that aren't kind of right in the same area as Farflu. And on Crockpot's side, it's looking like Ossie's got a bit of a lead here. He's only got one, or sorry, he's got one fewer, or one less crystal dungeon to do compared to Solski. And Fantoon's a little bit faster of a boss than Dragon as well. So if things go the way it's looking like, he'll be the first one into GT and do the scouting for the big key for their team.
I wonder if you could do the Doppler strat on Fantoon with by opening with a beam, like when it's coming on screen. That would be an interesting strat if possible.
I don't know. I think there's a cooldown on your shots, and you have to wait a certain amount of time between beam shots, and that still applies if you switch off to missiles. I don't think you can fire fast enough.
Like, would it share the cooldown with the missiles, though?
I don't know. That is a interesting question. All right, here's the... Is this the moment of truth, or does Farflu still have to do Hookshot Cave? He's still got to do Hookshot Cave. Okay. Then be making his way to Spike Cave. Which makes sense, doing the Crystal Dungeon before these overworld checks. I probably would have done this the other way around, but you can make a really good argument for either. These are 4 really quick checks. And if you can skip out on, like, say, Mimic Cave and the big chest because you find your go mode in here, it feels really good.
Maybe. Yeah, I think I would do Turtle Walk first, just because, I don't know, you could skip all of Hookshot Cave if you find it, like, in the first half of Turtle Walk, as well as Mimic Cave.
Yeah.
But that's kind of unlikely because you would find a lot of keys.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be in the back if it's in Turtle Rock.
Yeah.
It just comes down to where the items are. And in this case, it's in neither of those, but it's in Spike Cave, so... we will be seeing go mode from We'll Cut Grass for Rupees in just a moment here.
There we go. And that's nice. MM2 can now stop checking checks and just go. They do have quite a bit done. So they're definitely not too far behind the Crockpot.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, MM2's a decent ways ahead of Farflu, maybe. That's a quick item to get for him in Spike Cave, and MM2 has way more dungeons, way more crystal dungeons done.
Well, there's Dragon and Fantoon to go on MM2's side.
Yeah. Fantoon's almost laughably quick when you have nothing else to check in the wreck ship, and you can just do it like into Mother Brain. It's really nice. And outside of a co-op scene, you're almost never going to get to do that.
Very nice quick kill on Kraid for MM2.
Did we get all 4 quick kills? I think I missed somebody's. I don't remember seeing 4 Kraid kills in general, but I think that's all 4. Very nicely done.
I'm pretty sure I blinked at some points.
Blinked, or somebody on another screen found something big and we were talking about it while someone else was fighting
Yeah.
Kraid. A couple nice things though. Farfelu will be able to make a little bit faster work on these crystal dungeons by one, having the bow for Meyer, and also just being able to pair them together a little bit more nicely than MM2 was able to. You can do pod mirror to Eastern, which MM2 can do as well, of course, but also Meyer and then mirror to do Desert right after.
Yeah. MM2 getting a nice hook speed and ending the trip with the right side portal entry that does actually, entering from the right side does save you 30 frames of warp animation, just arbitrarily because the camera is aligned on an odd pixel, or even, I never remember which. You could do that reliably with a couple of portals. With the Kakariko and the portal south of the house, you can just enter from the left side, which normally you're coming at it from the right side. But if you just walk around the portal to the left side, you save nearly half a second.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate you can't do it everywhere. Like the one, the portal that MM2 NES just took to get into pod here. I don't believe there's any way to set up a quick warp there without some, probably some time-consuming shenanigans can dislodge the camera or something, but
yeah,
not a
unfortunately,
reasonable way
that
to
is
do
on the
it.
right side of the screen. It's basically snapped to it. You can kind of do it with Turtle Rock and Meyer, but you have to really eyeball those lineups.
Oh no, not enough rupees for MM2. I hadn't even realized that. I guess he's gonna do Eastern first and grab
There
some
are
rupees
rupees
from
in
the
here,
rupee
yeah.
room. Yeah, there's a little rupee basement room that is very rarely seen, but I think we're gonna see it. I don't know how many are in there, but there's a handful.
90.
Oh, thank you. That's good to know. I see a lot of darkness on the top half of the screen. While Solsky just blinked and the Armos Knights disappeared, and he had a crystal. So yeah, it looks like we'll definitely be seeing Aussie hit GT first.
Solsky in a triple hit on that dead rock to get it out of the way. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was a really nice drive through.
MM2 is probably hoping to find a 50 rupee pack. I would have checked the big chest. I don't know if Farfelu already did or not, but not picking up rupees on the right side. Okay, he's going back for it. Just remembered.
We're just setting up a better position for this torch. Or, ooh, missing the torch. That's unfortunate.
Oh,
This is really awkward because you're not used to going to this rupee room. So this could be really strange movement. Try to make this work. I would have reset the room and came back in with a sword spin, primed and ready to go. So you can line up with this Igor better. This is kind of a non-trivial dark room. It can be surprisingly difficult because the popos are random. I would not mirror out. Drink the red potion, dude. Oh, that's really rough. So MO2 had a couple options there. He did shoot the fire out while he was still in the door. I think he thought he was out of the door frame. He could have drank his red potion or left the room and fallen down one of those pots and grabbed a fairy, which would have been considerably faster than this mirror.
Yeah, but then you would need to find the door first and survive.
Usually if you mess up that room, though, you're already at the bottom of the screen, and it's easy to find the exit.
He was trying to go to the top right. He was near the pot, which I think that pot is a heart refill that he had gotten.
I can't say I've ever lifted it. I don't know.
I thought it was a small potion or a small decanter. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
To note, there are 3 torches in this room. There's one in the top middle that people usually go for, but there are also 2 on either side in the front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm too showing why the mirroring out didn't really help because he still has no health. Kind of has to drop down and get a fairy anyway. He did get a small magic drop, so he can just make sure he's out of that doorway this time. Very good. Alright. Meanwhile, we're in GT over on Team Crockpot's side. That's looking for that big key. Might have to check like a couple extra chests in case speed booster's freely available. If he doesn't find anything, it's not a big deal because he's really only wasting his time, and he's a little bit ahead of Solsky at this point. If he does find speed booster, and it's convenient, Solsky might be able to grab that and save some time. Plus the time that Opti saves.
Yeah, so by the way, if you want to guess where the big key is... Whoops, I forgot. That's 6 checks for them, I think.
I'm not sure.
Aussie is back here on the right side. Interesting.
Tile room? Maybe he thinks he's far enough ahead of Solsky, he can take a quick break. Or if it's in tile room, that's huge that Solsky doesn't have to check it or think about it. I mean, that's always unfortunate.
Speaking of looking for big keys.
We'll co-op error. Those things happen. You know you're in go mode, and you don't have to check anything else. Forget to find out where the big key is from your partner. Maybe Ossie's talking to him about what he's checking in GT or how he's routing it.
Yeah, honestly, in Turtle Rock, I always just assume I have the big key, and I'm like, well, I better double check my inventory.
Yeah, like the good news, a little bit of a time or lack of time loss, I guess, for We'll Cut Grass for Rupees. The big key is vanilla, so Team Crockpot would lose a little bit of time having to go for that. If your opponent gets to go with a dungeon and you don't, you kind of want the big key to be in the worst possible spot, which is that lava chest. Yeah, it won't be too much. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying we're getting to look at the dark room on Solsky's end. Now we can play Who's That Pokemon?
It's like a jalapeno pepper.
Could be. Maybe cayenne. It's eggplant!
Definitely one of the advantages of co-op here. Solskjaer catching up big time based on Aussie checking all these chests. Does find the big key there in Rando Room, though. Doesn't have to do Armos Knights. Also, still gonna have to push through to Rando Room. Not too far into the basement, though. And he can skip all the... He can skip Stalfos Room and Firebar Room. Quick for him. We could see a difference in divergence that catches up a little bit of that time on Woka Grass Rupee side, too. A lot of players opt to do Hope Room and then go left through Rando Room to the Ice Armos fight. Doesn't seem like that'll be enough for them to catch up at this point, but we'll see what happens with these last few dungeons and bosses. We didn't get to see any Dark NMG Turtle Room strats, any of our Forerunners. It's unfortunate. I think they all went for the Torch immediately, which is the safer and probably smarter strat, but you can just try the NMG strat in the dark, and sometimes it works. Problem is you can't read the Turtle RNG to know where they are, if it works or doesn't work.
Kinda. I think you do get little visual cues when you tink off of their shells. I'm not entirely sure.
You do, and if you fail it, you can just light the torch anyway, you know, if you mess up. Swing your hammer a little early or late, you can switch to the other strategy. But they all did a pretty good job cleaning up with their fire rods.
So to note, while Aussie is like near the top of the tower and Solskjaer is about to get his big key to climb it, Aussie does still have to kill Fantoon, so that is gonna cost him like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it'll cost him less time than the Dragon that Solskjaer has, but definitely a detour.
Oh, Solskjaer hasn't done Dragon.
Yeah, the good part of Dragon is it's not too bad to get to from the pyramid. So after Solskjaer does Ganon, he can take... Either path is very similar in time. Either run up to the Whirlpool and take that down to the southeast part of Dark World, or just swim past Ice Palace. Run east and south down past Ice Palace. Either way's fairly quick. But not quite as fast as the Fantoon detour that Aussie's going to be taking. MM2 has to do both of those, so although he's considerably ahead of Farfaloo on crystals, he's just got Turtle Rock left. Actually, no, he's not ahead, because Turtle Rock's a lot longer of a dungeon than Skull Woods.
Well, it's still got a... He's still already at the top of the mountain. It's a bit of a climb.
Yeah, I think the GTs might overlap for Wilcock Grass for Rupees, and they might both be looking for that big key at the same time, depending on how their routes shake out.
Yeah.
But with the unfortunate side effect of MM2 NES cartridge having 2 SM bosses left to do.
I wonder if it would have been best for MM2 to do Dragon while leaving Kraid, like as soon as Farfaloo found the bow. But I don't know. It's hard to calculate that all in your head.
I don't think that would be faster than going from Ganon, from the pyramid, at least with boots and hookshot and everything. That's a fairly quick path.
Yeah, especially without speed booster. Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, for sure. And M2 Netzhard didn't fight Boss Wound either, so you'd have to actually do that fight. Oh, speaking of speed booster.
Speed booster.
Wait, that means Farflu has had speed booster. And Crocbot picked it up, and I just totally didn't see it. Well, there it is. We've known about that, or we should have known about that for a while.
Not that it's logically implicating anything at all.
Well, it's a logical double dip in Turtle Rock, that's for sure.
That's true.
It's pretty gross.
Or rather, practically.
Yeah. No one's gonna leave Turtle Rock because they. No one in this tournament anyway. Casually, like these dark rooms can be really tough, and even the one in Turtle Rock. Honestly, I think that's one of the harder ones because you don't have the same movement as you're used to from Link because you're on the platform. It's very easy to make a wrong turn and kind of get stuck in a loop, and then get hit by 4 fire bars that are spinning around. But no one in this tournament is going to leave Turtle Rock to go get their lamp to come back to Turtle Rock. And there's a nice Ganon fight from Aussie. Finishes up one game, just one SM boss, and then one of the G4 bosses and Mother Brain. Sub 2 hours. Not sure where he's going, but we'll find out.
Solsky showing off here does get the hover across from Moldorm too. Does save a little bit of time. It's pretty well done on his side.
Oh, Aussie doesn't have the high jump boots, and wants high jump boots for Torian. You know, that's fair. He's ahead by enough. I think he can afford this. Might as well get comfy, have fun playing the game. I don't think it's actually a time save for the amount that he had to put in to get him.
Maybe not, but it does make Baby Skip significantly more viable.
Actually, yeah, that might even out the time save a bit. Alright, we never did find that wave beam, it looks like. And it doesn't look like we will, but it could be the top of GT. I think that they left Crockpot left some checks up there that maybe we'll cut grass for rupees we'll grab. I don't know if they have the same blue mail or if they're different mail upgrades. That might make a difference on whether or not they open any chests looking for an additional safety. So that's really the only thing they could find that would help them at this point, even slightly.
I like when I'm at the top of GT just to open the chest in case I get a heart piece to full refill my health.
Yeah, if I'm really hurting for health and think about it as enough of a heads up play, I'll check my menu to see how close I am to that refill. Use that as a decision maker.
It's a good play. It also kind of depends whether you have powder or not. If you don't have powder, it's pretty scary.
For sure. Nice Ganon kill by Solsky there. Making his way to Dragon. He's gonna go up this north route, which I believe is like a second faster than the other path. Seems like it's kind of out of the way, but the whirlpool puts you right next to where you want to be. And just like that, Ossie's done with Fantoon and on his way to Torian. But that's a cool Shine Spark. I
Nicely done.
need to look at how he did that, because that was really cool.
I always try to do that, and I'm too late.
I've never tried it, or I'm sure I've seen it and just not like noticed it, but very well done.
Yeah, I would think you would have to be pretty tight with your spring ball movement or morph ball movement to get through that tunnel quickly. It might not even be faster. It's hard to say. But you do start at pretty high speed with Speed Booster, and it's a pretty fast movement.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah,
Although jumping is pretty fast as well with high jump. Honestly, it probably isn't even faster. Definitely looks cool.
It did look cool, and that's the most important thing, right? That was a fast Dragon fight. Good use of the grapple beam. Nice quick grapple on the right side, which I always find to be a lot harder than the left side. That might just be personal experience.
I know at least with Zero Mission, the tool-assisted speedrun doesn't even bother Shine Sparking upwards just because the jump speed with high jump is the same as the Shine Spark, so you don't even move slower. Also, interesting decision by Solsky to take Gravity Suit off in Meridia.
You know, I did that for the longest time. It makes it easier to like push through those ohms.
I guess that's true.
Then I got good at the game, or better at the game, so I don't have to do it anymore. I guess Solsky just hasn't gotten good yet.
Like, to do that with gravity on, basically you want to do a non-crouch jump so that your jump is a little bit slower, just give you a couple more frames of hang time, and just hold down the entire time and let it go through you.
Yeah,
But
it
it's kind of
definitely
hard
is
to
easier
remember.
though. It definitely is easier though with Gravity Suit off, and it's a very minor time loss. I mean, it's one of those things that just like in speedruns, a lot of times in randomizers, your consistency is going to be more important than doing things 100% optimal. And if it's
Do they have
consistent to you
spring ball?
and you can just do it, then just do it.
Sure, yeah.
I don't recall seeing Spring Ball.
Okay. I'm sure if they had Spring Ball, they would have just Spring Balled over it. Why does MM2 have Spring Ball?
No wonder he's behind everybody else. The dang Spring Balls ruined everything for him. He got it from the green pendant. Oh, that's really funny. I can't believe I missed that. Wow. Even with the majority of the beam combos here, Aussie showing you can use missiles on Mother Brain, and it is actually faster if you don't have the full beam combo by just a tiny bit. Farflu is checking these chests at the top of GT. Probably not looking for heart pieces, but maybe a mail upgrade if they do have the same one, which I don't know. Ooh,
That last jump was
man.
hard.
Yeah, the whole thing's tough, and especially without wave beam, it's a pretty long endeavor to clear out all that junk. It's a really minimal time save. More so when you have 80 tanks than when you have 4E tanks like Aussie has, which I just want to point that out. Aussie only has 4E tanks. Even for co-op, where you tend to get less, that's surprisingly few.
Yeah, that's pretty comfy for Aussie, I think. Yeah, they're pretty good at Super Metroid.
Really, 4 is 2 more than he needs because he's got a reserve tank.
True.
Nice bugnet Agastrats from Farflu, which is considerably harder, but that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. If you could pull off the item dash, it's pretty easy. But if you just miss the dash, then yeah, the hitbox on the net is kind of where the net is for the most part, and it's hard to time it.
Yeah, it's not like the sword spin where the entire circle is the hitbox the whole time. Oh, MM2 getting morph bombs. I guess Aussie has those too, according to our trackers, and I missed that as well. But Farflu does not. It's a little odd. Oh no, he got the bad Ganon. Okay, if you spin at the wrong time, and you're like in Ganon's path when he's trying to warp in a particular way, he doesn't warp all the way to the bottom of the screen, which makes it not impossible, but pretty much impossible for most people to get the 1-in-1. Instead, he gets an extra cycle of bats. And hopefully Aussie finishes here momentarily. Just building all the suspense. I hear the sound of a ship leaving. And there's the clouds, yep. GG to Aussie. First of our 4 finishers. Time of 2:07:49.
Does this mean I die?
It's the first Ganon kill done for Farflu. Nicely done. While Solski's finishing off Mother Brain, and MM2 is working on his Ganon fight. point. M2 has to be careful, actually, on one heart after his cannon fight. Nicely done to clutch that out. But needs to be careful not to take a death on this overworld. I mean, as long as Solsky doesn't take a death here in the escape, it won't matter for the sake of the race, but still kind of dangerous. These bombers are not great. Especially the one on the next screen where you're swimming and you can't really defend yourself properly. It mostly comes down to his RNG, whether or not you just get wrecked. Same with the one on the stairs.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a delay between when you select the cape and when you can actually use it. I want to say it's like a second and a half or something.
Yeah, it's surprisingly long. Like, even if you try to like take that into consideration and you wait, it's still sometimes not enough. But you could see he kind of didn't know what to do, tried to menu to something else that he could use to get himself out of that situation and had nothing else to use.
Maybe a potion.
Yeah, I think he used his red potion, but I'm not sure. I think he only had the one red.
Okay.
Due to his rupee issues, he wasn't able to afford an additional one. Yeah, it turns out that Cane of Burna would have saved him. In the meantime, there's Solsky finishing up. Time of 2:10:54. GG's Solsky and Aussie. Croc fought the winners of this race.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. You're in A Link to the Past. You're not able to use the spring ball that he got.
It's a real tragedy, yeah.
Oh, hey, we're going by Solsky and
Hey.
probably Aussie in a moment.
Welcome, GG's.
Thanks. It's nice to have a quick save for a change, like Aussie and I were discussing afterwards once we hit go.
Yeah, that was
Pretty
super
nice.
fast. That was 2:10 finishes. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's a great time.
The Pog was getting Ice Rod and then the bow like 10 seconds later. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd you feel about the seed? Anything specifically stand out apart from just overall being a fairly quick seed?
Not really. The only other call out, I guess, Aussie, you know, if there's anything else as well, but was just going to Ether and Spike Cave when we did because we knew Book was available early, and then we're like, hey, I'm gonna get Book, and so we can do Ether along the way, and then I forgot to get Book. And then Aussie's like, okay, well, I'll do Dark World Death Mountain with Book, and then he forgot to get Books, so...
I was wondering about that.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to follow up with that, Spike Cave, and then go to TR, you know, because I thought Bo was probably going to be there, and then I just got surprised. So I found Ice Rod when I was going to Spike Cave, and then so I knew, okay, so I'm failing after Spike Cave instead of TR, and then I just found Bo, and I was like, well, I could just get it whatever I want, I guess.
Thinking back on it, I think I could have gotten the bow when I was doing my Dark Mountain. Just put it off. So we could combo with Ether. And it probably worked out better this way because it got us to Ice Rock Fest.
100%. Because then you're probably, I would say, well, we would probably send you to Eastern Pod at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. Be even further ahead.
Unfortunately, Will Cut Grass for Rupees found the Ice Rod at around the same time, but it took them a while. They had no real good excuse to go to Spike Cave until they were like finally making the play up to Turtle Rock and Hookshot Cave and did all that first.
They were just a little bit behind on progression. They actually had it split in a very interesting way where MM2 NES cartridge had none of the SM bosses, and at one point Farflu had none of the like crystals. So they had a little bit more catch up on that to do, and of course missing the bow for a little bit longer surge. It kind of made it so one of them was catching up on progress while the other was checking new locations for a little bit. Allowed you guys to pull ahead for the lead.
Yeah, I just have one comment. Yeah, Hitaka, no one cares. You're in the losers bracket, all right? We know I can do it without gravity. Get owned. Also, hi. All right, continue, Ace.
I don't have a whole lot to say. You guys want to play in the seed? What do you want to say
Yeah.
about it?
Honestly, I don't know if you have anything else to say. It was a pretty jet seed, right? Like it was fast. There wasn't really too much we could think to kind of route better.
I like the part where we were like, right on top of each other in Brinstar.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun.
Also
that was
finding
kind of
everything.
unavoidable. Like both of you guys
It worked out
both
really
teams had
well.
to do that, and it was kind
Yeah.
of like there's not a better option that we could see watching. At least I thought so. Like
Yeah.
you need to get some stuff out of blue Bryn, out of green Bryn. It's gonna help make the game faster, so just get it. Seemed like a good call to do that.
The power bombs in Dark Cross was Pog though, because it was like my last location linked to the past before SM. So
Yeah, Brinloop
Really nice to
was
hit that.
looking really bad without that powerbomb pack. So it was nice that he found it just before.
And Rex Ship didn't have any either, I don't believe. So it was pretty bad. Like, if you didn't get that, you're going into Bryn and eventually finding a couple packs, but they were
Charge
in not great
Beam.
places.
Charge Beam was one, which was okay, but otherwise, yeah, I don't know where the other one was. Somewhere in that loop.
Charge Beam, I think it
Was in Blue Bryn.
uh,
Right behind Morphle.
yeah. It was Billy.
No, I'm saying
the
there were
location.
power bombs at Charge.
Yeah.
That was the second power bomb pack
okay.
that MM2 had, because he was the first one into Brinstar. Yeah, you're right. Charge Beam was at the Blue Bryn behind Morph location.
This location I had to stop and ask Solski for something at church.
Yeah, I saw that. That's helpful. It was not very many power bombs at the early game, but I guess just enough. Unfortunately, MM2 and Farfalu only had 5 going into Super Metroid, and they had to bail on. They scouted the Varia suit from underneath, but weren't really able to get it until they got Screw Attack in Green Brinstar already. So they would have had to loop around a couple times.
Oh yeah, how do you guys feel about your initial Super Metroid entry? It was kind of interesting because I'm trying to remember who had what. One of you grabbed Base Jump, but not Ice Beam, and then the other way around. So you kind of
Yeah, Aussie had Space Jump.
to route those in.
I
Was
had
that awkward at all to
I had
train
this one.
clean up?
Yeah, I didn't.
No,
need
we
that
both had
game.
space. But
Oh, you both had Space Jump? Okay, that might have been Wokagras Rupees. I know one of you needed Ice Beam and picked it up on your way to Meyer area.
Like, Ice Beam.
Yeah,
wasn't
Solskjaer
important.
did a lot of Link to the Past. Sorry.
Go ahead, Aussie.
I'm saying that Space Jump is a much stronger item to have in the early game. Like, Ice
For sure.
was only for that one Meridia clip. And then, so I told Solskjaer to get it because Space Jump was so strong at that point in the game.
Yep.
So we just both went in with it. And I was going to go a Norfair entry and up, but fell and then reset at the wrong place. So I just hack it. Went straight to the moat down, Red Tower.
yeah, and I wanted to do Wreck Ship first, but then I found that powerbomb pack, and so I was like, all right, well, Brinstar, easy call. And it was like aces from there because it was like Varia, Red Cane, Hook, or not Hook Shot. That was Croc. Got boots. Charge.
Sword.
So many good stuff. Yeah, another sword.
So much there.
Yeah.
Then after that, I was chasing like Varia to get my gravity, and then I wanted to chase gravity. So I was trying to bowl ahead that way and have Solski do the cleanup. Where he got the hook shot, and it turns out that I could have skipped that if I wanted to risk it. But hook shot's just a good item.
And we see MM2 making good use of that spring ball. It's spring balling through that parlor. Very, very great item. I'm sure he's real happy to find that.
I thought he hated that. Why is he using it? Like,
I mean, he didn't do Pendant Thieves Town for
Scam.
nothing.
what a
Yeah, I
scam.
mean, like when you go all the way to turn in the green pendant to get the spring ball, you know, you gotta really love the spring ball. Farfaloo finishing up here, is going to be skipping the animals, just save that little bit of time for his timer at least. Gonna get a time of 2:19:59. Was it? Yeah, 2:19:59.
Shout out to Farfaloo. He's going to be one of the big ones to watch in the next 1v1 tournament, 100%. He's progressed so well throughout the game.
Yeah, these games are hard. It's so hard because there's this big combination of both execution and just sheer on-the-fly routing that makes this game so interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. 2v2, there is some, but not like a lot of choices. I guess one thing Aussie and I kind of deliberated was like, we think we're good with where we're at finding go mode. I'm like, can you imagine if someone skips wreck ship in the seed? He's like, that would be the god route. I'm like, that's like a great way to throw away your seed, but I guess it is an option, right? I guess 2v2 kind of handcuffs you to play a little more safe and try to maximize your routing, just because like, you know, any kind of skip is amplified if you're wrong. So 1v1, I feel like there's just tons of options available. 2v2 there still is, but not as many. But it's really cool to see how like teams kind of pick apart seeds and kind of maneuver their way through it and just kind of help guide their teammates through it as well.
Yeah, it's also a bit about knowing who's behind and like deciding who does the more the more time-consuming plays. Less favorable, I wanted to say.
Yeah,
Aussie,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, Aussie just tried to throw the late game as hard as he could so I can catch up. So
Second tile room before left side GT.
that was a
Yeah.
great call.
Yeah, I mean, didn't
You
hurt
mapped it out really well.
I was trying to balance the time that I had to explore GP. How ahead I was with Solsky.
Yeah, I'd like to say what definitely won you guys the race was that hover from Moldorm across Moldorm 2 that
6
saved
seconds. Yeah, it was great.
6 seconds, sealed the deal.
Then I promptly missed the free triple and like Aga pattern one, and then I get like the god double in the next two. That was great. Those were tough doubles to get. Those were tough doubles. Yeah.
I would be a hard fight. Been having a little trouble with that recently.
That's okay. I've been having issues with everything else. Baby skip, cool.
Yeah, you did the hard part, getting all the way to the.
I got everything
Down,
cleared.
clearing
I
it
was
all
like,
out.
I'm not gonna clear it this time, and then I cleared it all by accident. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna clear the rest. And I just couldn't get a good, I couldn't get a good shape around it because it's like the circle, the oval, and it was just stuck on the oval. Just kind of, it was too close. Just kind of screwed me around. But yeah, shoutouts to Mother Brain kicking me. But like, did I die here? And then Aussie's like, maybe. So I guess it wouldn't have mattered in the long run, but you don't know
I
that,
think
right?
if the Metroid refills you to full, then it's a soft lock. If you had enough attacks.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah. I guess no one found wave.
Nope. Didn't see wave with the fourth sword.
Yeah.
I believe you guys all found the same 3 swords.
It was still free. We had like tempered and like silvers, early Dark World. Half magic. I don't know. It's pretty easy for me.
I mean, screw attack and silver arrows, all that stuff was free. Yeah.
The suits.
Powder was early.
Wasn't very hard. Like, I guess was there any hard mode regarding? trying
I
to
believe
think.
so.
Well, I guess the hook shot. Well, you really need to. Well, you need it in logic to get it, right? Depending on where wave was, I guess that was required to get hook shot.
You. Wait, I think you could have got speed.
Oh
get-
yeah.
The other side, if you really wanted to do Turtle Rock before getting hook shot.
You are actually correct.
I mean, logically, you needed to get that speed out of Turtle Rock for your clamp, but obviously that's not happening.
MM2 making an interesting play, just not taking the shortcut in the third room of the escape, but using that speedway from the top to get a shine spark in the fourth room.
It's the crowd control play. Just get that shine spark up so no one can screw you with like baby hugs.
Just pulling in that path.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, those are Mappo strats, apparently. I wonder why he's exploring that Leodox room so much.
I mean, when only 3 people run the active category, it's pretty hard, I guess. What is this? Alright, good. No. Alright, there goes any last shred of respect I had for MM2 out the window.
That looks like a boomerang.
Unbelievable. Saves the animals and uses spring ball that he supposedly hates. Shake my head.
Boomerang's cool if he gets it. He skips saving the animals.
Mhm.
And with that,
But he did.
this cartridge, their fourth
He
final
did.
finisher. A time of, see the official time, 2:26:40.
Good game.
GG's to Will Cut Grass for Rupees. Hopefully we can get them in for an interview here soon to join us.
Still a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2.5 hours is like anything under 2:30 is usually a really good time for one of these co-ops. Obviously, it varies depending on the seed a little bit, but sub 2:30 is great. We do have M2 Nest Cartridge and Farflu joining us. GG's, guys.
GG's.
Good game, guys.
Well,
So how do you feel about that seed?
I don't know. Pretty bad. And also I like messed up everything I could possibly mess up in Link to the Past. The life of a Super Metroid main.
Yeah, that'll happen. A Link to the Past is definitely a deceptively tricky game.
Well, yeah, when you're also stupid, that doesn't really help.
Yeah, we
Whiffing the fire rod shot in Eastern Dark Room. Thanks,
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I've definitely been there. That's understandable. That you're just caught in that door frame a little bit. I think it would have been okay if you just, bailed and got the fairies right away. It looked like a little bit of a panic, like, what do I do now situation.
Yeah, it was also that, and I also wanted to go to the rupee room because I needed money for
Right.
COD. So I just wanted the fire rod shot, and it was not fun. But at least all of those mistakes combined didn't cost us the race because they're just too much gamers, I guess.
Yeah, what really won it for them was that Solsky hovered Moldorm too. He had hookshot. It just saved them like so much time, just not having to fight Moldorm 2 that it just it pulled so far ahead.
I'll believe that. Definitely.
Yeah, it was a good close race though. Going on through, like, you guys both hit go -1 at pretty much the same time, just both needing that bow. It just Crockpot hit Spike Cave and found that bow immediately after Ice Rod instead of
Fair.
a big
Instead-
chunk of time later like you guys did.
Yeah, we just did like a bunch of other stuff. We were
Yeah.
gonna do Waterway if we didn't get the bow there. We were gonna do Waterway over, and I was gonna do one of the pendants. We were just gonna hope that they had done Eastern Pod and they didn't find the bow. And Farfelu was just gonna beeline into Waterway and pray. But it did not
So-
turn out that way.
Did you guys check ether early?
No, we didn't check Ether earlier.
Okay.
I think Farfelu did it when he
Yeah,
went.
I check Ether just before getting the bow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
That
before
was
Era.
what happened to me too. So I was worried because we both had it on our radar because I found it early. So I was just like, well, we're gonna be able to route this in, right? So it was gonna be me getting it on my way to Death Mountain, then I forgot it, and then Aussie said he was gonna get it when he did Darkworld Death Mountain, forgot it. So I was like, I'm just gonna do all right. You know what my starting route's gonna be? Hype, Pyramid, Quakefish, and do Fat Fairy at the same time, and then I'm gonna go do Ether and Spike to clean that up. And then, sure enough, like he hit ice, and then like 10 seconds later, I hit bow. So I was like, "Well, see you later, I guess."
Yeah, we got
What a game!
Yeah.
Got a good mirror for that route. Made it a lot
Yep.
better than going the long way.
Yep. Yeah, the
Yeah.
mirror was nice too.
Yeah, I was thinking about skipping the mirror, but then I realized, oh wait, GT exists, so why would you ever skip mirror if it's in Mire Shed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God, GT mirrorless just sucks so bad.
Yeah, it depends on the
depending
amount
on
of hearts,
the
but yeah.
And the key placement.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
too. Yeah, this was just one of those, play Super Metroid and then play Link to the Past. Just one of those seeds.
Mhm.
Kind of sucked it wasn't more hard mode, but yeah.
True. Yeah, just like we didn't find gravity for a while. We got the ice and grapple really early in Sphere 1. I was like, maybe suitless, and then just gravity was like hi, and then it wasn't hard mode anymore.
Yeah, we totally missed that on the restream. We had some issues with some buffering on stream, and not being familiar with the sprite Aussie was using. He was the first one to gravity. We totally didn't realize he had it, and somebody pointed out, one of our trackers was like, "Oh, he's got gravity suit, by the way, at Screw Attack."
Lol.
Oh, okay. That snuck up on us too.
What sprite was he using? Probably Dark Samus.
Dark
That is
Samus,
Dark
yeah.
Okay, yeah, the only other acceptable sprite on the SMZ3 list because it's the only recolor.
Aussie, are you using Dark Link as well?
Negative.
Can't believe it. Doesn't even use the NMG sprite. Like every speedrunner that does rando uses Dark Link.
Used a Parallel Worlds link today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Doesn't even use the eggplant. Can't believe it.
Everybody knows that like the eggplant's your trademark, Solsky, so like nobody does it. You just don't want to tread on your territory.
Speaking
like-
of trademarks, do you want to talk about your green pendant turn in MM2?
No, I don't. I really
Okey
don't.
doke.
I was doing back of Pendant Thieves Town. Like, okay, I found the ice rod. I'm betting on them to bail, and maybe there's like they'll leave because there's one item left in the green pendant, and then the game just slaps me in the face with that. Thank you very much, game. You are a kind being.
And then he uses it. I'm just like, does he really hate it? Does he?
I couldn't find a good down elevator to turn it off on. That's my excuse. I guess I could have done it after Kraid, but like, I do Dragon Fantoon after that, so yeah, I'll just turn it off on Turian elevator like I usually do.
God, you and Apathy Dog have way too much similar wavelength going on right now. It's exactly the response I would expect from him. That answer. But yeah.
Well, GG's on winning the match you were expected to win, and good luck against the winner of Team Farts and Bear Pair.
I can't wait to dominate either team. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to for you guys to actually have a challenge.
Oh, Aussie's like, why would you say that? But it's
Yeah,
all fun.
that's probably getting clipped and shipped like right now, and then they'll play it once Azure Bunny beat you.
I can't wait for like Andy and Ivan to get their second W on us then. Yeah. But yeah, good game, guys. Thanks for the interview and the restream, and bye.
Good
Yeah.
luck going forward. Anybody else want to comment on their future matchups?
I guess we're facing like the winner of the
The Omswan Plasma Go Burr. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that-
the
yeah.
winner of those. That
Plasma.
matchup.
I knew Plasma Gober. I was like for a second I was having like a moment with Died in Hype Cave, but No, Port died in Hype Cave. Got beaten by Umslaw already. Heckin'. Yeah. Yeah. I guess we faced one of those guys. Probably lose to him. Not optimistic, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I guess that's it from me.
Cool. With that, any other comments from anyone else? All right, that about does it. Thanks so much for our trackers. We had Iker and I was gonna say Ace Zero. You're not a tracker. What are you doing? And
Tracker for other matches.
Not today. Yeah. But, Hydropower 78 is the other track.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah, that one other link to the past main.
Scrolling all over the. Okay. Yeah, Hydropower and Iker for the tracking. Big thanks to SpeedGaming for all the work behind the scenes, getting everything set up. And thanks Ace Zero for joining me on commentary.
Yeah, thank you, Jaggers. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. And huge thanks to the best commentators and trackers, everyone in the chat. Huge shout outs to all of y'all. Everyone follow everybody. And with that, I'm Jagger G signing out, and see you next mission.